Oh dear, I think Tommy's still there.
I think he's frozen.
I think he's frozen too. Well, we'll wait a moment, shall we?
With the programs that are have to have a champion to guide and make sure the results are.
Oh, he's been dropped.
No, he's over here, but yeah.
Oh,
Okay, well, perhaps
his signal's weak.
They are results.
Tom, we keep losing you.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Now?
Yeah, you're back now. You were telling us about $50,000.
And then you didn't get anything after that? Okay.
No.
The youth and vocational committee is in the process of reducing the number of charities we work with. We want to have a greater impact, and we want to be able to be more relevant to those charities. We want continuity, and we want to get charities that are in our catchment area. All the projects that we have to have a champion to guide and make sure the results are achieved and monitored. They are the responsibility for reporting back to the club on the results. Our biggest problem is only 30% of our members are active. They find themselves on 2 or 3 committees, and it takes a tremendous amount of time for them. And it is difficult to start any new project because it leads to 2 other things that they have to do. The programs that we are supporting are trails. We have 2 kind of member bursaries that we are working with. We have a bursary for life that we're in the process of helping kids that have graduated from post-secondary school. We support their Leaders in Training program each year in June. We have an annual club meeting up there in June coming up. And we will be pausing support for a new tractor program that we started to do, mainly because I'm not confident we have enough funds to do everything. Project Abraham is a new charity we just got involved with, and it's to help kids with coming from the Gaza and the Syria, Middle East, get adjusted here in Toronto. We have what we call a homework club. We're starting to receive letters from mothers that are talking about how effective the program is and how their sons and daughters are working. I'd read the whole thing, but it'd take a little too long, and I will publish it. We're going to do some work with Elisa hockey team. In September, we're going to on their backs. So we're going to be working with them on that. Layup. Lars has just put in 2 charities. Layup, which is a basketball program for kids. We're able to support 15 youth living in Toronto neighborhoods and provide valuable.
Oh, we're losing him again. Oh, Tom. Well, I could talk a bit about the layup basketball program, unless there's someone on the youth committee here who knows more. They came to speak to us back as we were coming out of COVID. I remember we were having a meeting at the pub there. Oh, there you are, Tom.
Am I here?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
here. We lost you again. You were talking about layout.
Okay, back. All of a
Uh-oh.
sudden, my screen went blank. Okay. So we're also working with a group called Merit. We're reconnecting with them this year to inspire high school students to continue their education. We're helping contribute there. We're going to continue our program with Project Big Give Back. And these are kids in a school that are being taught to pay forward. And they're being taught at the age that's really important. Rylus, we don't have a champion for Rylus this year. Last year, we had 4 kids in the program and they loved it. And the response was unbelievable. This year, we're going to support 1 kid, but we're going to do it through another Rotary club. Mainly because we don't have a champion to monitor it. The ones that we're not supporting this year are About Face, JPCI Interact Club, Round 13, the Philpott Tennis Foundation, Covenant House, Variety Village, Famous Players, Philpott Little Readers Program, and the Philpott Tennis Certification Program, and the HIP. So that's kind of my summary of what we're doing. We're going to do more with less people, but we're going to have a greater impact on that charity.
Thank you, Tom.
That's it, Lisa.
Does anyone have any questions? Comments? Perfect. Okay, thank you. I'm going to move on to Glenn to tell us what community service is doing.
Okay, so first I want to thank the people on the committee, Marion, Norma, Anna, Ron, Ray, Walter Wells, and Walter Sotka. Thanks for the work you do and for putting up with the new chair. What have we been up to since our year started in July? We have made donations of $5,000 to both the Allen Gardens Food Bank and the Churches on the Hill Food Bank. As I'm sure you are aware, the use of food banks has exploded. This is due to many factors, but the main ones are the low payments people get from the Ontario government, such as those with disabilities. These payments are simply not enough to live on. Then there are many seniors on small fixed incomes. Third, there are the homeless population of many thousands in our city now. And finally, there are also people who do have jobs, but they do not get paid enough to cover rent, utilities, and food. Kathy Bremner from the Allen Gardens Food Bank will be coming to speak to us at our luncheon on May 7th, and she will be able to give you a better idea of what the need is and why it is burgeoning. We also made a $3,000 donation to the Church of the Messiah Food Bank, which I am delivering this afternoon. Again, they have seen the need increase dramatically and the costs to feed people rise astronomically. We made a $5,000 donation to Romero House in their work of supporting refugees. I'm sure you all remember the images on television of refugees sleeping on the sidewalk and in church basements. Romero House helps integrate refugees into society. Marion has been the champion of this cause. There was also a $2,000 donation to Toronto Cares, an organization started by Sarah Robinson, who spoke to our club. Again, this is a group started by a person who saw a need in her community and has arranged for such things as gifts for seniors and kids at Christmas, given backpacks and supplies to students in the fall. She has a clothing bank every Sunday and is working on establishing a produce market so people will be able to access fresh food at a much lower cost. We also made a donation to Dismas, a charity that Walter Wells has been a supporter of for many years. They work with people who have been released from prison and help them to reintegrate into society. Other activities have included a clothing drive for New Circles, which collects clothes for those new to Canada, among their other services. A group of us also went to sort clothes one day, and we are looking to do so again later in the spring if anyone is interested. Also, thanks to all of you, we donated well over 100 pairs of socks, gloves, scarves, and other needed clothing to Fred Victor in January. Speaking of Fred Victor, Anna and Norma have been doing an amazing job of creating home starter kits that are delivered bi-monthly to Fred Victor. These kits, which include household essentials, are given to people who have finally been able to get a place to live and are setting up a new household. Norma has also continued to work with Rotary Toronto East to provide sandwiches to the Good Shepherd. This involves a lot of hands-on work as you need to buy the food, make the sandwiches, and then deliver them. Thank you, Norma. And finally, there is Out of the Cold, spearheaded, as you all know, by Walter Sotka. Many of you have been faithfully volunteering every second Wednesday since the fall. And as the season comes to an end, I want to thank the volunteers for all their time and efforts, and especially Walter for his incredible dedication to this cause. So I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything they want to add, but that's where we are up to this point in time.
Thank you, Glenn, and thank you to both the youth and the community service committees. That's a lot of work you guys are doing, and it's wonderful. Genese, would you like to tell us about the work of the International Committee, please?
Yes, it's my pleasure. So most of the International Service Committee 2024 and 25 annual projects have been completed. And as we have a limited time, 3 to 5 minutes, I summarized the projects. So Malawi, teen clubs for HIV young people, district grant with Uxbridge Rotary Club operates teen clubs for HIV young people in Malawi. Cambodia, clean water for health centers in Cambodia, district grant, it was the Toronto West Rotary Club's project to provide clean water storage tanks to 4 health centers in Cambodia. Egypt, disabled children in the Zabaleen area of Cairo. It was the district grant, worked with Scarborough RC. Zimbabwe lab expansion. Laboratory services were under extreme pressure due to physical space as clinical volume increased. This expansion, along with the shelving and basic furnishings, added much needed space and function to the facility. Guatemala, Burlington North RC and District 7080, it was a global grant, 5 pulmonary ventilators, 5 vital signs monitor for the new pediatric intensive care unit at the Zacapa Regional Hospital in Zacapa. India, it was the district global grant, worked with RC, a Rotary mobile cancer screening bus project with the Rotary Club of India. To save the lives of people who have cancer and cannot be diagnosed in the early stage of this deadly disease because they cannot afford to get cancer screening. 36,000 people benefited every year. Uganda maternity clinic, it was a global grant, worked with Bowmanville RC, saving mothers and children. Burundi, Ubuntu Village of Health Ambulance, it was a global grant and worked with Toronto RC. Our collaboration between the host club RC in Goma, District 6150 in Burundi, and the International Club of Toronto Rotary Club. Now, these were the sports of the 24-25. We already committed a new projects for 25-26. Western Kenya Global Grant, Rotondo Beach Rotary Club. The goal is to construct 9 water systems in the 9 villages, providing clean water to approximately 24,000 people. Burundi, Masanga school bathrooms. It is a district grant. Grant will be provided. Richmond Hill Rotary Club. The government implemented the water system that needed to be built, and the plan is to start with 4 blocks of 12 bathrooms. And this is a hands-on project of the Richmond Hill. South Africa, hippo rollers and garden equipment. This is a district grant. We'll work with Whitby Rotary Club to provide hippo rollers for water and garden equipment to help improve accessibility and the collection of clean water, and to support community garden initiatives, empowering members to grow their food sustainably. And we are passionate to be an international partner of the Global Grant Project in 25-26 fall, which is Ukraine 3D printed prosthetic of amputees Global Grant of RTE. To provide a Ukrainian hospital with 3D printing technology to produce prosthetics for residents who have lost limbs due to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Our committee member, Anna Chap, is the champion of the project and has connected the Rotary Turnbull City as a host club, which is a less affected city of the war. This project will be implemented in partnership with Razan Prosthetics and Rehabilitation Center, a specialist in the product of the prosthetics and orthopedic products, as well as rehabilitation aids. The clinic located in Ternopil will receive not only training, but also modern equipment for producing 3D printed prosthetic sockets for lower limb amputees. This equipment will enable the creation of prosthetics that are precisely tailored to the patient's anatomy, ensuring the comfortable and accurate fit with standard limbs. Groups in the community that would receive a clear, direct, and immediate benefit from the project: lower limb amputee victims of bomb and landmine explosions would be the direct beneficiaries. Amputees who have become victims of the war are mainly being transported to the Western Ukraine, as this region is considered safer compared to the other parts of the country. These individuals come from various social groups, civilians, including children, as well as military personnel, professionals, laborers, the elderly, and young people. They have been affected by bomb explosions, landmines, and other explosive devices that discriminately hit frontline cities and cities in Ukraine that are under constant enemy shelling, notably in the east and south of the country. This is all my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesi. Does anyone have any questions? Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you very much for the great work of the International Committee. Those sound like amazing projects. Nan, would you be prepared to tell us a little bit about the Environment Committee and what projects you're working on?
I would be happy to. We have 5 things either underway or planned at the moment. As you all know, we're working on our 10% carbon reduction challenge at the moment. At the end of a few months, it'll be interesting to see if it's actually had an effect. With our club, I know that a lot of people were saying they already do those things, such as eat maybe red meat once a month. So we have a lot of people that I think should have gold stars just for living the way they do. So they're not in our challenge, but we have 8 people who have joined. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. On April the 19th, we're working with Don't Mess with the Dawn again to do a cleanup. The time will be provided a little bit later from them. I do need people to let me know if they're coming. And again, the plan is to have a nice social event after to reward ourselves for the work we've done and have a good time together. In May, our plan is to collect eyeglasses, which doesn't sound like an environmental committee thing, except that they're either lying around our house or being thrown out. So our thought is let's collect them at our meetings in May and then hand them over to somebody who will pass them out to people who need them. So that's a May project. Also in May, we're planning to have an outing at Arcadia Earth. That was actually supposed to be in March, but my apologies. My business took off and I just didn't have time to organize anything. Glenn is very busy. So if anyone else would like to join our committee so that in my really busy times, there's somebody else that can shoulder the little details, it would be greatly appreciated. Plus, good ideas are always welcome. In September, we're doing our tree planting again with Don't Mess with the Dawn. And so far, that's the only place that we require funds is to give a donation for some of the trees that have been planted. And that's it for us at the moment.
Thank you so much, Nan. Gneezy has a question for you.
Nan, just a small note. We had Patty Lee last week, and she's looking for glasses, reading all sorts of glasses to carry to Cambodia.
Oh, great.
So maybe that will be very much appreciated, just as a note.
Can you email me
I
with her info?
Of course I would, yes.
Okay. And if everyone would bring them to the meetings, we'll store them in the storeroom. I'm told there's enough room to have a box in there. And then at the end of May, we'll give them to someone. And we have a few possibilities. So that's great. Thanks, Ganesi.
Walter, did you have a question?
Yes, please. I didn't get the date of the cleanup.
April 19th, Saturday, the Saturday before Easter. Or
It is the
Easter weekend.
Saturday of Easter
Of
weekend.
Easter, right, Easter weekend. And everybody, please let me know if you're coming and if you're coming for lunch so I can make reservations as well. Thank you.
Sounds good. Norma, did you have a question for Nan, or were you going to make the
Oh, it was
comment
the
about Patty
same
Lee?
one of Ganesi,
Yeah.
about Patty Lee and Barbara Singer going to Cambodia looking for glasses. So
Perfect.
Ganesi covered it. Thank you, Ganesi.
Wonderful. Well, we've heard from the committees who are providing services to folks outside of our club. And I hope that all of you are feeling a certain amount of pride listening to what our club is accomplishing with, I would say, a modest number of people. So I think we need to give ourselves and everyone else involved just a little clap on the back. Since we seem to have a bit of time, I'd like if we could hear from the 2 committees next who are supporting our members, more internal service, our membership committee and our social committee. So maybe we'll start with David. Could you talk a bit about membership committee?
Sure, thanks, Lisa. Just want to recognize our committee, Ganesi, Lars, Tim Vermillion, Laura, and Joe Clark. I want to thank you for your service. As well, I want to let everybody know we did have that meeting on Friday of last week where I invited not only the membership committee, but also anyone of the members at large. We had Jackie and Bill Steele joined that group. And I also had some notes given to me from Lisa as well. And I thank you for all the input. It was a fairly productive meeting, I think. I think we came away with some action items. Some of those I'll be taking to the board, but I thought I'd share some of the stuff that came out of that meeting with the membership. Since our last meeting, or since my last presentation to the membership, we know we've had one member add to our club, and that was Joseph Marquez. But I have to say that we've lost 3 members from our club. One of them is Mike Moy, which might come as a surprise to people. Mike has decided to step away based on his time requirements for his handyman work, but he has also stated that he would stay on to help us with the website and with social media. So he is still our point man for anything we want to get posted on our websites and such. So we thank him for that. The other 2 that have left the club are Vicky Liederman and Tonda Murshid. Tonda, as you know, was new to the country, and he felt that it just wasn't something that he could be doing right now. And financially, he was struggling with the payments that are due to be a member at the club. So I told him I would keep him apprised, because he did do some hands-on volunteer work with us, and we're always looking for people to give helping hands. He did help with the tree, such. So I will keep him informed of anything we're doing. And the other one is Vicky. Vicky left for different reasons. She had some personal issues, but also the takeaway, the learning from this for me and for the membership committee was that she felt her onboarding process wasn't as, I would say, as beneficial to her as she thought it might have been. So we are going to start a new process of trying to make sure that, like Anna did, she visited all the committees before joining. And so we're going to have a checklist put into place that exists in the past that we can include for all new members coming on board. And Ganesi said she would help me with this as part of the membership. But it's something that I think is important to keep track of as people come to our club, make sure they feel welcome and feel like they're getting the information they need to move through their Rotary journey. The other thing that we are looking at is how do we encourage new members? And so we identified 3 areas at our meeting on Friday that we felt were something we should be looking at. And this is in the order of discussion, not in the way we're going to actually execute. But first one was corporate memberships. Is there a way we can work with HR departments and see if we can't create some type of corporate membership for some of our local businesses in the area? And that was one of them. And Jackie is planning on working on that, but this is a long-term plan. We're just going to try and build out the process and such, and maybe try and look at this for next Rotary year. The second one, which is a little bit easier, is probably community leaders. We have community leaders within our community that we have not asked or encouraged to come to our meetings, and even for lunch, not even about joining, but actually coming to the meetings and being a part of that process for 2 reasons. One, it's great to have people that have some type of say in what's going on in our community. So example would be like a Josh Matpo, who's spoken to the club but never really come to a meeting. So that's something we're going to look at, and that we're going to approach probably early in the new Rotary year, and trying to identify who in our club has relationships with some of these people, and how we can encourage them to come to our lunches. The last one, and which is probably the lowest hanging fruit, and which we're going to try to attempt in the very near future, is missing classifications. So as we all know, we are typically assigned a classification when we join our club. And I've been investigating our classifications assigned to members. And I hate to say that when I look at our list, there's less than 10%. It's probably not even that there that have an actual classification. And I encourage you, if you haven't already, to go in and look at your profile on Rotary International or on our club website and see what your classification is. Because we do have a lot of real estate agents. We have a lot of financial advisors in the financial services industry that have not even been indicated on our piece. But there are people or in classifications, and we use the example of a dentist. We have no dentists. We have one doctor. We have lots of education, lots of real estate, but there's an opportunity for our membership to reach out to people like their dentist when they go to the dentist, say, hey, how you can start up that conversation. Anyway, I'm going to create a questionnaire, and so we can list some people from the members. Hopefully I'll have it for next week's meeting that I can have you guys fill in, and maybe list 3 or 4 people that are in your in your circle of friends or people that you deal with on a regular basis that might be of interest for us and maybe interest to come to the club for a lunch. And that's the starting point. So that's what we're going to work on for our membership. The other thing we did talk about was membership fees. You will be receiving a letter as we move into the next Rotary year in regard to how your membership fees are used within the Rotary family. Probably most of you don't realize that probably 60% or 70% of the money that we ask of you in your dues goes towards costs associated with the club, the district, and the international level of Rotary. The rest of it goes into a pot that goes towards our committees and all the service work they do. So we thought it was important that everyone understood where their funds go, because most people don't know where that actually goes. So that's something you're going to see in the new year. We're also looking at a way of identifying our membership, and we've come to the understanding based on the people that are leaving the club that there is probably two segments of our population, the 45 or 55 and older and under 55. And the 55 and older, I like to call them that are nearing retirement age, or people that are looking for the next thing in their life as they wind down in their work mode. I know a lot of people here are still working, but there are people out there that are always looking for that kind of stuff. So we are trying to figure out ways of identifying those people and how we can bring them to the club. And then the under 45, we're finding, or under 55, we're looking and we're seeing a lot of those people that are leaving because of life work balances and being able to fit Rotary into their lifestyle. So again, that's something we're continuing to look at. One of the things that came up was, is there an opportunity for us to charge our dues and pay via credit card? That is something we're looking at for next year. That's something I need to take to the board for approval, but that is something we are looking at in regards to process. The other thing that I really want to speak to is we've been given the opportunity, and this is something that Lars had been kind of instilling with all of us, is how we promote the club within our community. And one of the things, we had two opportunities with the Eglinton BIA, the Business Association, which runs basically from Chaplain Crescent all the way over to Avenue Road. They're a very active BIA, and they have two opportunities for us to be a part of it. One is a farmer's market that runs every Sunday, which would allow us to promote our club from basically June 1st to October 31st on street signage all the way along Eglinton. There are probably every 30 feet in every planter along Eglinton. They're looking for us to support their music program. We'll be able to promote and be able to promote the club, as well as have a tent there to help talk about all the things that we're doing in the community. So there's an opportunity I'm working on right now. I'm going to take something to the board. I've already spoken to them, and I'll take that to the board. The other opportunity is a car show. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to the antique car show they have in the middle of the summer. This one's a little more money, and it's something that we probably aren't going to do. We thought the farmers market was a better opportunity. So that's something we're looking at in order to help promote the club, because that's something we feel we don't do enough of to attract members within the community. The other thing we did talk about were meeting format and times. I know that Lisa's trying a 7 p.m. slot on the last Thursday or last Wednesday of the month, this month. I know Walter Sutka as incoming president has a few different ideas. We talked about RAW and how is there an opportunity for us to expand on that and make it a more formal meeting. So these are things we're going to be talking about at the board meeting next week. So lots going on. And so if anyone wishes to join the membership committee and wants to help out with this, I'd more than welcome your input. But that's it. Sorry it took so long, but I thought people should be informed. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, David. Excuse me. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, goodness. Glenn.
It was mentioned at an earlier meeting about Mike Moy doing the social media. And then Lars sent something out that we should wait till we were given direction as to what we should send him. For example, like I can't post on our Facebook group. I don't have an Instagram account. So I'm not sure if there is anything set out yet or what we're supposed to do. Like today, I'm going to get a picture taken. That's why I'm going before the food bank opens. And I don't know what to do with them.
Okay, so here's what you need to do. Is you need to take a picture with the large check. That's important. It's got to be something that shows an actionable item. And if it isn't something that's actionable, then you should provide some type of commentary in short form that we can include with that. So if you're giving a check and you're saying this money is going to be going towards improving something, and so that, you know, Rotary, and so that Mike can then put in the social media post, Rotary activates this initiative, and so that people kind of see that. Us just taking a picture and saying Rotary just donated so much money to this without saying where it's going and what it's doing to impact the community, that's what we need. We need that actionable item that we can put into the post and tag it in different ways. And then we want them to tag that as well if they have a social media platform that they can do. So I can put something together. I'm hoping to work with my daughter who does social media for a living, for a small independent marketing company, and see what she can give me in a cheat sheet that we can give to everybody. But I haven't gotten that far yet. But yes, thank you for the question, Glenn.
Thank you. I have, sorry. Excuse me. Do we have any other questions? Okay. Oh, Jackie.
First of all, I apologize for coming on late. Did anybody give a reflection? Because I have something very short.
You're welcome to share. I made
Okay,
something up, but
okay, I think this is extremely appropriate for all of those who are suffering illness, for all of those who are experiencing great loss in the stock market. It's a Maya Angelou quote. Remember, every storm runs out of rain, period.
thank you.
Okay. Would you like a foundation report?
Sure. I'm just going to get, we're kind of in the membership and member support. I'm just going to get Walter to tell us a bit about social. And then, yes, we would absolutely like to hear from the foundation.
Certainly.
So
I just,
Walter, Jay.
okay, I just want to build on what David mentioned. The Social Engagement Committee is a new committee that was formed last fall. Thank you, Maria, Sandy, and Ray, who are part of the committee. We're here to promote the club, as David mentioned, and also engage the members. As was mentioned in the reflection, social contact is very important. Also, team building, making sure that people are engaged. What we've done in the past is we looked at the Rosedale Club, Golf and Country Club for our Christmas dinner. We also had an event at Hart House a couple of weekends ago. We're also looking in the future for things like the wine tasting with Maria and Woodbine, which we've done with a fundraising group, but we're going to look at that in the social committee group as well. We're also looking at going up to a cottage. If you remember last summer, we went up to Arthur's Cottage. So if anyone has a cottage that they would like the club to engage in, please let me know. And also looking at things like as the weather gets better, events, festivals, just making sure that people get together and socialize and also know each other a little bit better as well. And also as new members come on board as well to make them feel welcome. I know that one of the reasons I joined Rotary is because of the membership. As the saying goes, people don't necessarily join clubs, they join the members in the clubs as well. So once they get to know them as well. And also part of the things that I do as well is to make sure that for the Raw, the Duke of Kent is booked every fourth Wednesday. So I make sure that that's taken care of as well. Okay.
Thank you, Walter.
Yeah,
David.
yeah, I've been traded from the fundraising committee to your committee because
That's right, yes.
Woodbine and the wine tasting, I'm going to help Maria if we have it. So include me in as your committee from now on.
Oh,
please.
very good. Well, thank you very much, Stephen. Yes, certainly. And again, as Richard, as David said, if anyone is interested in joining our committee, by all means, feel free.
Thank you. Okay, so we've heard from membership and the Social Engagement Committee. I'm going to turn the floor over to Jackie to talk about the wonderful work of the foundation.
Thank you, Lisa. The foundation has been pleased to fund several scholarships over the years, and you probably have already heard us, but we received a wonderful gift of $100,000 from one of members of our club who wishes to remain anonymous, that has enabled us to continue the SAGE Award at TMU, formerly known as Ryerson. The SAGE Award provides funding of up to $20,000 a year for an Indigenous graduate student. Remember, the purpose of this is to get more Indigenous into academia. At the time we started this 6 years ago, there was only 11 individuals in graduate school at TMU that identified as Indigenous. The second award for Indigenous students at TMU is the McClure Award that is given out in the Department of Social Services, typically to someone in midwifery. And we're very pleased that the foundation has found $50,000 that will be given out for 5 years, $10,000 a year to support that initiative. We're also very happy to receive your EREY, your birthday money, your support of the Foundation Walk and Polio Plus, and provide tax receipts. And I received mine today from Bill Steele, so for 2024. So I hope all of you have experienced that. And thank you to Norma Davis for stepping up and mailing them and whatever. We appreciate that, Norma. We have one new initiative, and it stems from the being given $140,000 from the Tibor Gregor estate. You know that we have been providing teacher training in dealing with anti-Semitism and racism and in schools. You know, we've heard from us before, those of us who attended the training, how teachers feel totally unprepared for the divisiveness the political divisiveness that they're experiencing in their classrooms. And this organization that has been along for 50 years has got a great track record for providing teacher training and teacher resources. So Tom and Norma are taking the lead on that, and they have attended one workshop, and we've got another 2-day workshop coming up in August. And I know a couple of you have asked to join us. We'll do, and we'll certainly get that information out to you. The newest initiative, because I can't stress more, folks, that we need members in our and we're hoping that the projects that we support in our area will gain us some awareness. Like what we're finding is people in our own area don't know what we do. So we're trying to fund projects in our area that will lead eventually to membership. So the newest idea that is being discussed is support for United Nations clubs in schools, in our local high schools. And the reason for that is that you probably know about Rotary's unique connection with the UN in its formation, and the fact that Rotary has a representative at the United Nations, and there's a special Rotary Day at the UN. Also, if we're using Tibor Gregor funds, this is certainly something that Tibor and his family would have encouraged us to do. Lars is involved in this initiative in trying to find out what is happening with Rotary and UN clubs in Toronto. And so we have taken a small step by supporting a United Nations assembly of students in one school. And Tom and Norma and I are going to be there on that day. And they're going to, first of all, they're going to have an opportunity to welcome the students. We're going to have a Rotary table there. So we're beginning to, small steps to get Rotary out in our local community. Lars, do you want to pick up and say anything about that?
Well, I
can add, I guess, like I've been sitting here thinking as a district governor to the presentations. That's why I haven't really made any comments, and I plan to say a little bit. But yeah, I think the Model UN is a very active program. It's more active than I thought, actually. And looking at more information on the UN website yesterday, I found out that what the UN has done in basically Washington, D.C., but some other areas, is that staff and diplomats have gone out to some of the high schools and universities where there are model UN activities. And it struck me that Toronto is actually uniquely positioned there because next to New York, Toronto is the city in the world where there are most consulates, whether they are career consulates or honorary consulates. But there are about 50 career consulates. And I look back at some of the colleagues that I met over the years in my role as honorary consul for Sweden. And quite a few of them, and it goes also for people at the embassies in Ottawa, have at one time during their career been posted at the UN, the same way as they are posting as consulates and so on and so forth. And I will contact, because I'm still a member of the Consular Corps Association, you remain there as long as you pay the membership fee once you have become a member there, and talk to them, because I am pretty sure that we have at any given time diplomats in Toronto who have been posted, and if we could invite them to participate. I mean, we saw for the event that the Parkdale Club did about Ukraine, the Consul General of Ukraine happily participated, and he would be open to speak to Rotary Club. So it's an opportunity to make that interesting and for the students and ourselves as well. So.
Right. For those of you who don't know, a model UN assembly in a high school, the kids take on it, they represent a country, and there is a debate about a crisis, an issue. And so they either meet as a security council or one of the other councils. So it's great training in current events, in history and public speaking and international relations. And they are active in our local high schools, Leaside, Northern, North Toronto, Lawrence. So it's right in our area. So it's an idea that we're developing. If any of you have any opinions or thoughts on that, I've already heard from Stephen. He was a part of this group in high school, and I'm sure there are other people who had the same experience. So it's just an idea developing that we wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Just to add to what Jackie said, what made me interested in this happened a couple of months ago, and I was awake in the middle of the night, and it was IDEAS, CBC's program, and it was Bob Rape talking about the UN, and it was in Winnipeg, and Lloyd Axworthy talked as well, or had invited Bob, and when they were discussing after Bob's presentation, Lloyd said that, well, what got me into my career was as a high school student, I attended what was, I don't know at that time, Model United Nations, organized by the Rotary Club. Mm-hmm. So, you see what we may create, the cause or whatever, the outcome.
I just make one quick point. It's amazing what can happen. We went, this group, we used to have an annual trip to the United Nations, and every school represented a different country. And one of the schools, I don't remember which, was representing the Soviet Union, and they went to the consulate or to the embassy, sorry, to the United Nations in New York, and said, "Can we speak to the first secretary for 20 minutes?" And they came back and said, "Never mind the first secretary. You guys got to represent the Soviet Union properly." And they gave them 2 hours with the ambassador. So that sort of thing can happen.
Terrific. Jackie, if you have, or,
Yes.
sorry,
Thank you.
have you
Thank you.
finished your, what you wanted to say?
Oh, I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was great. And it sounds wonderful. So we've had an opportunity to hear about the great work that we're doing. And I hope that you guys have all appreciated it and taken something away. So we'll turn our focus now to the business section of the meeting. And I'm going to start with Happy Bucks. We're obviously not passing the can around, but if you transfer your, if you have Happy Bucks and you want to transfer them to the treasurer email, that would be fantastic. So does anyone have anything that they're happy about? Maria?
I'd like to give $20 because tomorrow is my birthday, and
Oh,
I'm
happy
celebrating.
birthday.
I'm not telling you the age. It's too much. It's an 8 and a 0, and I'm celebrating with my my twin sister in Holland.
Oh, congratulations. That's wonderful.
So actually, I think I should give $80.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's very generous of you, and I hope you and your sister have a wonderful birthday.
Okay.
It's a great milestone to achieve because you know.
And I'm happy because my twin sister is my best mate.
And your sister is well and healthy, like
Her health, she is fragile.
Well, she's here, so that's a good.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to celebrate today? Well, I don't see any raised hands, but Maria, that's enough happy for an entire club, so congratulations. Yes, wonderful. So at this point, I'm going to turn the floor over to Lars to give us his weekly schmat and got.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I butchered that.
Congratulations, Maria. Let me first just make sort of the having been through 55 of these club meetings as district governor. I think there are a couple. To begin with, the presentations are very interesting and enormously valuable and so on. But there are two things that I think hit me. One is the more we can present hands-on, the better. You know, it's important to give checks and so on and so forth, and we should not hide that we are doing that. But brag about the hands-on activities that we are doing, because that is sort of something that district governors appreciate. Also, remember that we can ask the district governor for help, or in this case, say that, for instance, when we talk about the project in Ukraine that we are starting, the global grant, well, that is something that, of course, will require a lot of funding from other clubs. So whatever the district governor can do to promote that, and also Matt, the assistant governor. So don't hesitate to hint that maybe we could get ideas or helps. The same with activities when it comes to promoting, marketing the club. Well, maybe the district governor has some experience or have heard about something from other clubs. then overall, and I know that this is something that I'm as bad as everyone else, but my overall reaction is yeah, all the fantastic things that you guys are doing, you. How come that we don't get it out in a better way than we do? So let's see how we can word that, because that to me would be the reaction, the question I would ask the club. So no, we can always say what we do, and again with the model UN activities, things that we are planning. So it's very interesting with that. Today, actually, it was very easy. You know, I go through history and what has happened and so on. Today was actually very easy to get Canadian content. As Canada, we should be very happy that on the 9th of April, 1869, Hudson Bay Company ceded its territories to Canada. God knows what had happened if they hadn't done that, and what is happening to the Hudson Bay Company. Yeah, I don't have a clear understanding of how big a part of Canada that they handed over to Canada, but whatever. The Canadian Pacific Railway was completed this day in 1881. And on 1917, Canadian troops stormed Vimy Ridge. So that is an important day in Canadian history. There is also, of course, a lot of hockey that has happened. Toronto Maple Leafs have been involved in 2 Stanley Cup finals on this day. In 1932, they beat the Rangers in 3 state games and could lift the cup. And 3 years later, it wasn't as fun because they lost in 3 straight games to a team I didn't even know existed, Montreal Maroons. It was the final time for the Montreal Maroons to the final cup that they won. They disappeared after that. I can't hide the fact that the world's first wireless telephone was demonstrated today in 1935, and that happened in Stockholm. It was invented. And I'm wearing pink today because it's the International Day of Pink. And that is a day that is established to fight bullying, disinformation, discrimination, racism, and so on and so forth around the world. And I think it's very important that we do that, both as Rotarians and as human beings. A couple of things. On the 15th, we have a board meeting, as David mentioned. And if anyone is interested in attending the board meeting, let us know. But if you don't want to come to the board meeting, there is something that the district is organizing once a month, Learning Tuesdays. And it is 1 hour in 7 o'clock in the evening. And it is about membership. And it will be 3 clubs. And I should know what clubs we have organized because I've been part of the organizing of it. And it will be a conversation between 3 clubs that have been very successful in membership over the last year. And I'll include the link. You should actually have received invitation from the district, but basically all club runner material end up in my spam box. And so I will include the link. You will also find it if you go on the district website and look at their events. You can register. There is no cost to it, but it could probably be interesting if you anyone wants to find out some ideas about membership. And as has been mentioned, District Governor Virginia is coming next Wednesday together with Matt Emerson from the East York Club, who is our assistant governor. And for the board, there is a meeting at 11 o'clock. Sir Thomas has hopefully organized a room for us. And I think that was all for now. And I want to second what Lisa said. It's fantastic, all the things we are doing. So thank you to everyone for that. It's a fantastic job. So we just keep up the good work, and we will hopefully get it out also in the community. So thank you.
Thank you, Lars. Ganesi.
I have a question to Lars. Are we addressing the Governor Virginia and the Assistant Matt and President before we are presenting our works?
Sorry, are we?
Are we addressing opening our speech presentation?
The presentations are at the board, at the meeting with the board, 11 o'clock.
No, at the governor's visit, when we start speaking, are we going to address them? But as I will say, are we going to say Governor Virginia and
no. Virginia is very easygoing, and so no. Well, no, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought
that's okay.
But Lars, I think the question was that are we presenting at our meeting? I think it's just Virginia presenting at our regular meeting on the Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, at the regular meeting, it is Virginia's show.
Right.
And questions. No, the presentations and that was what I thought first, but that what Ganesi was asking for, that the presentations that you did today is at 11 o'clock, that meeting.
Okay. So we're fairly clear about what's happening next week. The week after, well, we can talk about that going forward, but we have Raw. And then, as was mentioned earlier, this is a month that has 5 Wednesdays. So our last meeting will also be Zoom. We're trying an experiment again to do it at 7 o'clock. And as we didn't have a speaker set up or organized, I thought this would be a good chance to have a club discussion. We've had a presentation here today about what we're doing, then maybe opening up the floor, and I'm hoping that Lars will help to facilitate this, have a discussion at the end of the month about what people enjoy, what we think we're doing well, and what we think we might improve. It also gives us a chance to maybe follow up on some of the things that David talked about with the membership think tank last week. So yeah, there we are. And then in May, we're going to be hearing from some of the people that we support, the food bank. Then the second week is a lady from Whitby Sunrise talking about a project that we helped in the Dominican Republic that we helped with. And then we have an author who's talking about women in news. And then then we have another Raw. So it's going to be a good couple of months. So I hope you're able to join us. And if there's nothing else, anyone else have anything to say? Any questions, comments? All right. Well, if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, then I'm going to adjourn the meeting 3 minutes early. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks, Lisa.